Alrighty, so let me share my screen real quick. Sorry, give me one second, guys. Okay, and then let me make this into. Alrighty, everybody. Let me share my screen. Thank you all so much for being here. This is going to be our Q&A for Tfar. My name is Marco Torres. I'm one of the integration specialists here at PSJA ISD. With me today, we have Ms. Debbie Fingal, and we also have Valentin Guerra. If y'all have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Or they'll interrupt me during whatever it is I'm doing, and then hopefully I can answer. I am pretty new to Tfar. I don't know all the answers to it. I haven't explored the data side of it. I've only explored the side of it where you can create content in there. So that's more or less what we're going to be going over today. So some housekeeping rules. If y'all can keep your mic muted, feel free to type in questions into the chat section. If you haven't registered yet, you can go to the professional development system. We do have the session ID there, which is there. It's 263717. Our check-in code is going to be PSJA Tech. And these are some of the things that we're going to go over today. Sorry, I don't have it in full slideshow view because I'm not really going to be using this too often. The good thing about the slides, even though you're not going to see it in person, but I can always get you a copy, is they are super easy step-by-step guide on what to click on, what parameters you need to set up. So you're going to see me doing this today, but I'm not going to go in a full slideshow mode, but you'll have that access once this recording is over. So these are some of the things that we are going to go over today. First thing that we're going to do is show you how to log into Tfar. Second thing we're going to do is create item type questions. So you're going to see the word item all over the place here. The third thing we're going to do is create a test. And if we can get to that part of the presentation, if we're not going up against it at 5 o'clock, we will show you how to distribute a test. I actually had to take slide screen captures for the last part because I didn't have access to distribute a test, but a teacher I hung out with earlier today did. So yeah, hopefully we can get there. So let's start this. So now what I'm going to do is just start from the beginning here. So the first thing, first thing I want to show you before is show you what Tfar is. Okay, so Tfar is new. It's optional. It's an online tool that consists of TEEX aligned with an item bank, a test builder, and data reports. This is the way that actually Tfar describes it, and I myself describe its best use. It's best used for a supportive formative assessment practice. Again, formative assessment. This is really cool if you were going to do like anywhere between a 3 to 5 question quiz or a test that you can give the students. I mean, of course, you can make up to, I believe, 35 questions, but really, this is a really good tool to create 3 questions at a time, 5 questions at a time, and then show the students. Give this to them, maybe on a Thursday before you give them a summative assessment, or maybe give it to them midweek so you could see how they're progressing with the content that you're giving them. So again, this is really cool. It can be a lot, but really, if you use it in bite-sized chunks, that is really the main thing about using Tfar. So let me show you what that's all about. I believe I put a link in the chat. Let me see if it's in there. Oops. So let's see, let's get that link for you. So what I would like you all to do, well, you could do it now or you could do it later, is so what it's going to look like is it's actually going to take you to this website right here. So the link I put in the chat actually takes you to this website here from TEA. And what I want you all to do, and I mean, you could do it later because the first time you log in, when you're going to scroll down and you're going to see resources. And I put this in the slides. So if you get lost, if I'm going a little fast, I'll give you the slides and you'll see where we're logging in. After you go to the link, you scroll down to resources and there's this link that's called the Tfar authoring system. So once you find it, let's go ahead and click into it. It's going to show me get in there automatically because I've already used it more than once. But when you put in your credentials, when you create an account on here, the very first time, it's probably going to send you a security code to your email. You're going to get that code, you're going to input it, and then I don't think you have to use that code again. So all we did was we went on the link, we clicked on the link that I shared in the chat. We logged in. You all probably have a little bit of trouble, but if you can do it, go for it. And if not, if you're able to follow along, that's awesome. Okay, so first thing that we're going to actually do is we're going to learn how to create new item types. So right now our district has we have this tool and we use it, but actually there's very little information on there. So there might be some stuff that you can find from other tests and replicate it, or you can use the same questions, but it's very new right now, so there's not too much content. You're better off at learning how to create new items. So uh, the tough selling point on this is that you are going to have to be a little creative when you're creating these new item types. So let's go ahead and click on this. So first we're going to learn how to create an item, and then we're going to learn how to create a test. So, and you'll see this in the Google Slides. This is the first thing that you're going to see. First thing we're going to do is actually name our assignment. So let's do a quick one today. I'm going to do one called political parties. And this is 12th grade. This is something I taught as a teacher. And so it's a social studies. So all I'm doing is title, grade, and then the subject. And now it gets a little bit more in depth here. This is actually looking for the course. This is US government. So if you put social studies for high school, it'll show you all social studies high school. Same thing with middle school, same thing with elementary. So I'm going to go to government. We go to the specific strand. So this one is actually number 11. The student understands the role of political parties. And then the student expectation, it gets even more detailed. So this one, we're talking about the two-party system. So the reason why this is important, and I know it's kind of like, wow, this is a lot. It's because when you create these items and you make them available for your school, or you make them available for your team, they can look up items by strand, by the course, and by student expectation. So it's pretty cool. Like if you know what you're teaching that day, it is really useful to understand what strand and what the student expectation is, just so that as your library grows between the people that you're sharing your item types with, they're easier to find. So let's go ahead and go on. So we're going to align to student expectation. So now that you saw that we put in all this information on the top, you now notice that I have all the new test types. These are actual replicated item types from the new Start 2.0. So these are all the new ones. This is the one-stop shop to where you can create them all. Again, the keyword is you're creating them all. They're not, there is some information out there, but a lot of it you're going to have to do yourself. So let's go to one of the new types that we're going to do, which is, of course, there's multiple choice, but let's do one that's multi-select. So what I'm going to do here, there's 3 components. And like I said, these are all in the slides with step-by-step arrows and things like that. Section 1, the item prompt, this is where you're going to either put the stimulus. It could be like a map, like you can upload a picture. You can upload a picture. You can put instructions, or you're just going to put you're essentially telling the students what to do, right? So here, I'm going to replicate an actual question that the students might see on the star. So, well, this would be for US history, but we're going to put on here, what affects your political affiliation what affects your political affiliation? Or I'm going to actually put, what characteristics affect your political affiliation? So what I mean by this question is, what is it in life that affects which political party you lean toward? So the important thing is, not only do I have a question, I'm actually going to phrase it just like the test. It's going to say pick, and then in caps it says 2 correct answers. So these are the answer choices. When you get to the second part, this of everything, whether it's multiple choice, whether it's inline choice, whether it's a written response, part one is always the stimulus or the question. Part two is always what you the answers for it. So option A, I'm going to put location where you live, and then I'm going to put um, political affiliation of friends, and then I'm going to put gender, and then I'm going to put something dumb like height. So I have these answers in here. Actually, there's usually in a multi-select there's 5 options and 2 out of the 5 are correct. So I have the question, I have the potential answers, and then now the third part of building a question is always going to be you're going to construct your answer key. So the maximum score for a multi-select is always 2 points. Again, I'm not going to go over every test item type. We're just building one, and then we're going to make it into a test. This is a maximum score of 2. We can make a this is a multi-select, so I'm going to check box this. Do I want unlimited check boxes, or do I want them to just choose 2? I can put on here, just put 2. Now, the last thing that we can put is actually put on here, include scoring descriptions. So this is actually going to be 2 points. It says here, option, if you wish to explain why the response below, like how come they got the points that why did they get the points that they got? So first of all, right here, we're going to actually put the real answers. So we're going to actually put that the 2 correct answers were the top 2 choices. And then what you can do here on the bottom is give an explanation. I'm going to put student answered the 2 2 parts correctly. So that's the reasoning why they got the 2 points. You can put on here for 1 point. They only answered 1 part correct. And then the exemplar answer that you could do for the perfect answer is they answered location and political affiliation of friends. So those are some things that influence why we vote the way we vote, right? So this is done. This is a complete answer. If you want to see what this looks like, you can go to preview, and this looks like an actual star test question. It doesn't look like a Google form or a Google slide or anything like that, right? So you can do this with all different types. And the good thing about it is I'm going to go back to edit. Here at the top for every single type of test item type, they have a tutorial. So I'm going to click it. You're not going to hear it because I didn't allow sound. But if you ever like, well, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to do drag and drop. Well, yeah, go ahead and click it, and then we can press the tutorial. And so here they're telling us exactly what we can do, how many answers we could pick. And these are typically no longer than 3 minutes, like maybe 3 minutes and 20 seconds was the longest one I saw. So if you are intimidated with creating content, go ahead and click on any type of item type, and then they have a tutorial for them. So once we kind of created our question, we can go ahead and right here save. Actually, sometimes if you don't save within a certain amount of time, you might have to make like a little edit, like add a character, like a period or a question mark or something, or delete something and then put the original character back, and this will be available. That was the only little thing I didn't like about it, but I did save it. And so now we're like, okay, where did the item go? Now that I made my question, where did it go? Let's go up top to the items tab. Again, I know I am going a little quick, but this is all step by step in the slides. So now that we're here and we created our test item, we're going to go to the items tab, and it has some filters. So the main one that you're going to be familiar with are going to be these 2 items that you create and items that are shared with you. I'll talk about the sharing later on in this presentation. So let's go to the items I created. And then we're going to go ahead and put apply here. I created some already, a few others, but this is the one that we just did right now. So let's just pretend that now that we have a few items, you've done a few questions that are all relatively in the same kind of strands, that we went over, the same standards. Now you want to make like a mini 3-question test, right? So let's go ahead and do that. So now that we have you built a few items, and you can actually get items like within a department, and I'm going to show you what that's like later. We're going to make a work group where like you can uh create these groups by department or by subject, and you can all share test items that you create, and then you can create your own tests out of it. I'll show you what that looks like later. So let's go ahead and create our first test now that we have a few items. I'm going to click political parties. I'm going to show and actually I wanted to show you one before I created. I'm going to say this one that I created. I wanted to show you guys something. This right here, this is one of the ones, it's the hot text. And I actually got this off of a released test. So one thing that I wanted to show you was that one I created all on my own, right? That was just something that I created about political parties. You could do that as a entry ticket, as an exit ticket kind of thing. But what I wanted to show people was this is a test from 2022. And what I ended up doing was I came across this question and it just says, which sentence in the 5th paragraph it has unnecessary information and can be removed? Well, the correct answer, I believe, is D, sentence 23. So what all I did was I copied and pasted this whole paragraph right here. Like I just copied this, and then in the short response in the short response tool, I just pasted it on there, and then I turned a question that was multiple choice into hot text. And so that's something that I just wanted to show you. I won't show you how to make it. Sorry, where was I here? Oh yeah, right here. So all I did was I went to the short response question where they can, I'm sorry, the short constructed response. I pasted this on here, and then you can click the sentences as potential answers. So in the test, what the kids, or in your test that you're going to give the kids, the answer would be here, and they end up clicking on it. So I thought that was really cool. Not only can you create this stuff off the top of your head, like you saw me do in the first question, but feel free, go back into previous tests, and it just takes a little bit of creativity. Like I said, if you see a multiple choice question, you can just tweak it a little bit so it could be multi-select. If you see a map, go ahead and grab that map, and then you can make it into a hotspot. Like it does take a little bit of creativity, and that's why, and that's why we're here to help here at the Instructional Technology Department. Because if you have an idea, like I want to make hotspot, or I want to make hot text, help me out here. That's what we're here for, to help you kind of go through the information, and then we show you how to do it. So, okay, let's go back into creating our tests. You go back to tests. Ooh, I'm in the wrong one here. So we're gonna go create a test. We're gonna go to create new test. This is what we're gonna do. And so when we go to create new tests, again, these steps are step by step in the slides. You're gonna go right here to add from library. So we're gonna go ahead, and what you want to do is look for your items that you just created. So here in the filters, we're actually going to look for, this is a little more complicated than the filters for items. So what I did was, because when you create a question initially, they become draft, and then later when you put them in a test, they're published. So let's go to draft initially. Let's go to draft and press apply. You see some of my questions that I've created. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add political parties. I'm going to add this to my test. I'm going to go to unnecessary information in text. So I'm going to go ahead and add it to the test. And then I'm going to go to party and ideology and add that to the test. And this one's real cool. I know I just kind of clicked on it right now, but see, this is a match table grid. This is super cool that you can all create. So once I just want to do these 3 questions, this is my test. You can actually edit where you want the test to go. So if this is a second question, but you're like, no, you know what? I want the kids to type at the end. Press that down, and now this is now the 3rd question. So we got this going on right now. So we got 3 questions that make up a test. And again, this is on your step-by-step guide that I'm going to give you all. You can preview the test, and then you can actually publish the test. So actually, let's preview what the test would look like. This is actually what the students would see. That would be question 1. That would be question 2, and that would be question 3. So if you're happy with it and I'm happy with this one, let's go ahead and then we're going to publish this. All right. So we're going to go ahead and publish, and then it gives you some other parameters. So, do I want a calculator? Do I want a thesaurus? Do I want a dictionary? Really, this is up to you. And it depends on, the students that you have. The only thing I haven't figured out, guys, I haven't figured out how to change the name of the test. So I know it's possible. I just don't know how to do it. So for right now, this is test number, 1000009. So we're going to go ahead and press done. And it's going to tell you, hey, once you publish this test, you can't make any changes to it or the items in it, even if they appear in other tests. This action cannot be reversed. This is essentially saying, I can't change the way the questions are worded. I can't, like, it's final. Once I do this, the items, even the items I created, they're final. They're going to be published, which means they can no longer be edited. So that's all it's saying. So you're going to go ahead and press OK on this. So now I have two tests, right? I have test number 1009, and then I have test number, this one, right? So we have these two. And so it gets a, it's not tricky per se, but so now let's administer a test, and I think I am going to be able to go through the whole presentation with you guys. Before I go I know I'm going a little quick. Do I have any questions so far, or Debbie or Valentine? Anybody? I know I am going quick, but maybe if anybody has a question, feel free to like type or speak up.
Brittany might be typing. A couple people might be typing some questions right now. Oh,
Cool.
not so far, they said.
Okay, cool. Okay, I hope I didn't lose you all. I know it's a little quick. So now that we have our test and we have it, what we're going to have to do is administer the test. All right. So I have two tests that I created. I created a test earlier today, and then I created this new one right here. So up here at the top, and I do again have these as step by step on the slides. We have administer the test. So you're going to check on which test you want, and then you're going to go to administer, and it will give you a timeline for when you want to administer. Actually, this one I already did. So let's do this new one here. So the interesting thing is it'll have the date that you created it. So it has today's date, and then it'll have an end date. Be careful with the end date. For some reason it's on 7/31 of 2023, but we can shorten that up. So let's go all the way back to January. Let's say that we're going to give these students till the 26th. So we'll give 24, 25, and 26. That's how long they're going to have access to this. You get to choose your institution. So if you're from Alamo Middle, that's where you would go. I don't have an actual location, but I did teach at Bear. So I'm going to go ahead and put PSJA Early College High School. So this is the interesting part, and this is what I'm going to show you guys in just a bit. You can share this test with your department. You can share it with your school. You can share it like with anybody within the PSJA organization. So I'm going to share it. Actually, let me see if I can share it with my workshop. Oh, okay, this is awesome. I made a workshop. Okay, I'm going to show you how to do this in just a bit. But I made a work group called IT Specialists, where it's everybody in this department, me, Valentine, Debbie, David, Snyder. So I'm going to show you that in just a bit. So I'm going to share it with this work group, but pretend this is a department. Like pretend this is math, Alamo Middle School, right? Or you can do individual. So if I'm going to do anybody else, I can do, let's see, I can do, is she on here? No, I was going to do Melissa Marvin. Let's see. I'm going to well, you could type anybody else on here, right? So if you wanted to do individual, you could do that, or you could just do your work group. So that's pretty awesome. So I already have who I'm going to share the test with, and then I'm going to go ahead and make them also an administrator. So anybody in my work group, which is my entire department, they can administrate this test as well. You go ahead and press save. So now we go on to kind of the little bit more technical side of TEA, right? This part I did not have access for. So it is in the slides, and I'm going to put this back on here. So I'm going to put this back on here. Oh, oops. So You all are going to be more familiar with this because you have access and I don't. I actually need to ask for access. So what we ended up doing was we're right here. Oh, let me show you. Okay, before, well, no, we'll go into the access. So, okay, so from right here, you all might be a little bit more familiar than I am. Through TEA, there is a login for your test information distribute engine. They call it Tide. What you're going to end up doing is you click on that icon within TEA. So I'm sure if you can go through, just type in on your, actually, I'll actually show it to you all. You can actually go to, just type at the top, Texas assessments. And then when you go to Texas assessment, you go down and it's going to say testing personnel. So you go here. And when you scroll down, this is where your tide is. And we'll have this video too. I know I'm going a little fast, but you'll have this. So you'll go here and it's going to ask you to log in. The only thing is I don't have an account. So it's going to have something here that's different for you all. So when you'll have the administration tax, you all have something, I don't have it. So let's go back to my slides. Sorry. So let's go back to the slides. So when you all just log into your Tide, you're going to see this pink tab on here. It's called Schedule Proctored Sessions. So you're going to click on that Schedule Proctored Sessions after you log in through Tide. What you're going to want to do is that timeline that you just saw me put in, like I put like today's date all the way through the 26th, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to put like today's date and you pick a time, and then when's the end time, which is the 26th, and then you pick a time. When you press next, you will see this part right here. It's my tests. So whichever test like we just made, they'll show up here, except I don't have an account. So when you start making your tests, this is exactly where y'all would go. And then two tests that I made at a different school. These were the two tests that showed up, and then you can go, okay, well, I want to do the 996880. Again, I don't know how to name the test. That's the only thing I can't do. So just kind of make a note when you make your test. Just write down the number that gets generated. So you're going to pick whichever test that you want. And then it's going to take you back to the screen we were just at. It'll show up. You get to name it right here. You're going to name it. We named it test. And then we saved the session. And so after we did that, it gives us the session ID. So they will give you the session ID number that you need to take the test. And last but not least, I didn't put this on here. I don't know the exact name. You guys do, because you all test, and I didn't test Cambium when I was still teaching. Each student has, like, I believe it's called their own unique ticket ID, or it's a unique ID, and the CTC has the campus testing coordinator. So once you have this generated, all you need is the list of this. You could tell them to print you out a list of the unique ticket IDs for the kids. It's the same one every year. Like, it's the same one that sticks with them the whole year. So now you have the two components. You have the session ID and you have the student unique ticket ID. And then that's how you get them in the same way that you guys have been using Cambium and testing in the past. And that is it. Like, I can't believe I got through all of that, but I can always go back and show you guys some more examples of stuff that I did. Um, I put our information on there. Um, I put our information on there. I put our instructional technology phone number on there. But yeah, it's a really great program. If my recommendation is doing short tests that are anywhere between 3 and 5 items. The cool thing is, I know it's a little daunting when you go to the items and then you're going to create a new item. So I'm just going to make something up really quick. So it gets a little daunting, and once you figure out what you're gonna do, um, yeah, mess around with it. My main advice to you is go in there, go and see how all of these works. You know, go into something like drag and drop, figure out what your content uses, what's going to be on the test, and then just go view a tutorial. And then these tutorials, see, they're pretty short. Oh, this one's 4 minutes, but they're the biggest help out of everything here. And then once you're able to kind of master this stuff down, like once you're able to be pretty proficient at these tools, you'll be able to create your own tests, very quickly. It didn't take very long for me to create those questions, but that's my main advice: is go into Tfar, go into the types of questions that you're able to create, and then for sure check out the tutorial. But yeah, this is kind of our one-stop shop, because I know that one of the main issues that we had was, well, Marco, we like, that you're showing us on Google Forms and you're showing us on Cami and blah blah blah, and I'm using all these different, and we're using Nearpod. Well, now we have it all here. The only thing it does take is it takes a little bit of creativity to, come up with these questions. And so yeah,
Marco, we have a couple questions from
yeah.
Jessica. She's asking,
Oh,
does
cool.
it save the data per test or per student?
Okay, so I'm gonna
And
stop
will the
sharing.
test block out access to other websites during the test?
Oh, okay. So I know parts of those questions. Thank you for the questions, Jessica. So will it block out websites? You do have to use Texas Secure Browser. You do use Texas Secure Browser, so that it's the same thing, the same way as you taking the summatives. And then, well, let's see. So that was that one. We'll block out the other. Should be that. Let me see. Oh, what was the other question, Debbie? I'm
Does
sorry.
it save the data per test or per student?
Okay, if I'm not mistaken, it does it per test by classroom. So I don't have that data in front of me, because I haven't launched this in front of students before, but I've talked to our middle school coordinators, and what I've seen is that it generates a CSV file. It generates a CSV file, and the way it breaks it down is like Miss Diaz. It would say, if you had a first period class, it would say Miss Jessica Ortega Diaz, period 1, period 2, period 3, period 4. It's a great tool to compare data within one class, because your students. But the main complaint we get from coordinators, or not complaint, but the main reason why it's kind of disliked when it comes to disaggregating data, is you're only comparing classes. You're not comparing, like, say, all of your kids versus Miss Cortez's kids. You know what I mean? It doesn't have that. It's not like DMAC in that regard, but you will get data by class, by test. I hope that made sense. And I don't have data, like, that's not exactly my background. So what I can do is I can get you more info by getting you information from a coordinator, or I'll learn from the coordinators in the future of what the data looks like, and then we can put a part two to this Q&A, and it'll be data driven. But thank you for the questions. Any other questions? Yeah, thank you all. I appreciate it, Samantha, and thank you, Brittany, for the comments. Yeah, I mean, that was pretty much it, Debbie. I didn't know if there was anything you wanted to include. I just want to show one more slide, which is our schedule coming up. Let
Yeah,
me
and
show that.
I already added the PDF to the slides in the chat, so you have access to all those slides that Marco did for you.
Yeah. Oh, awesome. I appreciate it. This is our calendar coming up. I believe tomorrow we have a Java chat, which starts at 7:15. We are going to talk to an integrator, one of the integrators of the month. Debbie and Valentine know them a little bit better than I do. But if you want to join us for kind of just it's more of a podcast, feel free to join us at 7:15. And then we also got one on the 26th, which is Unmute and Recharge, with more kind of an elementary focus. But I mean, a lot of the stuff that we do in elementary and middle school, kind of they kind of go hand in hand.
It
So
overlaps a little bit.
they overlap. So anyway, um, yeah, that's it for me, Debbie. And guys, I appreciate you all being here. And feel free to reach out. I'm not a master of this yet, but I'm getting pretty decent. And if you need help, I'm me, Debbie, Valentine, David. We're always here to help. And yeah, reach out to us.
And we can give one door prize away today,
Oh, okay.
prize pack. So I
You
don't know
want?
if you want to bring up the clock
Yeah, give me
or
one
we
one
had
second.
6 people attending that signed in.
There we go. Give me about 10 seconds.
We have to do the fun part of see who's going to win the door prize, our prize pack.
Cool.
So good luck to everybody.
Okay, I'm setting it up. We have 6 people.
Yes. Who's going to be the lucky
Unfortunately,
winner?
I can't play sound, so I can't do the little like boop boop boop
Ah,
boop
well,
boop.
that's okay.
Okay,
We'll still
let
get to see
me.
the fun little clock.
Valentine is here. He can totally do
He
it.
does our sound effect.
Oh, it hasn't even started.
Okay, we're ready, Valentine.
Ready.
We have
Number
Brittany
3.
Cortez is our door prize winner, number 3
Yay!
today.
Congratulations, Brittany. Thank you for
But
being
congratulations, Brittany. And thank you
Cool.
everybody for attending. Marco, awesome job. He's our Tfar expert now.
here. Yeah, the thank you, Debbie, for making it. You shared it with the team, right? The PDF.
Yes.
Yeah, if you guys feel free to look at it. I'm trying to make it as easy as to follow along, but still reach out to any one of us, and we are always down for helping. Buy a lottery ticket. Yes, I think Mega Millions is like 423 million. I saw.
Perfect.
Hey, y'all have a great day. Thank you all for being here. Y'all are the best. Bye, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.